B, Unit 9, Assessment 2, Final Review, Red Class. 4, 4, 4, 0, in parentheses. R, put everything in parentheses. R is a fiber, 0.5. In parentheses, raised to the n minus 1. I'm going to do it. I didn't do it in the other class. I'm going to do the subtraction in my head. Someone can help me. Hey, someone say what 16 minus 1 is, please.
15.
Yeah. Now, you could write the 16 minus 1. And then when you raise it to a power, you raise it to the parentheses 16 minus 1, because anytime there's two pieces, you put them in parentheses, or you can just make it 15. This is going to give us an answer. Melissa, what answer did you get? I feel like I saw a lot of writing on your thing.
Yeah.
What do you think the answer is?
I got in fraction and in decimal.
You have a who and a who?
I got it in a fraction and decimal.
Give me the decimal, then we'll see what the fraction is.
0.135490.
And I'll stop at the 135. The decimal of that fraction.
I have a quick question.
All right, so on number 7, which is the one I'm working on, new formula. Just wrote it down. It doesn't look very good.
Is this the second formula?
You compare what I wrote to what's up there, and then you let me know which you think, so that way you can be a detective. There goes A on number 7. Everybody know what A is? N?
9.
So these puzzles are pretty easy to solve. You do the two easy pieces first. All right, R. Anybody know what R is going to be?
2.
If you don't know what R is going to be, you take the first number, put it over the second. You take the take the second number, put it over the first. You take the third number, put it over the second, and you divide. For it to work, both of those fractions must work. Wait, Thomas, why would you do it twice? If you put the 14 over 7, you can get a 2. If you put the 28 over the 14, you get a 2 also. Why would you do it twice? Because in real life, we don't know that this is already a geometric sequence. We don't know that it already works. In real life, if I put a 14 over 7 and maybe a 29 over 14, if they give us two different answers, you can stop. It's not a geometric sequence, and you don't have to do any of this stuff. But for this test, since that's what they're testing you on, they're all going to work. But me, I want you to at least go through the motions of what you would really do if someone asked you, hey, Thomas, is this a geometric sequence? You know, I don't know. How would I tell? Oh, I would take the second number, put over the first and divide. Take the third number, put over the second and divide. If it worked out to be the same answer twice, bang. There you go. 2. All right, so what you're going to do, you're going to put them in the puzzle. A is a 7. 1 minus A, 2 raised to the 9th power, all over 1 minus 2. And for these, the minute you write this in, you get full credit. You just have to hope they put a bunch of these. With their highlighter, highlight this sentence, one of these, and the new color, number 2. Why are you doing it that way? So that when you're taking your test, even without trying to memorize it, here it comes. I'm doing this guy here, I'm changing it. I'm making it into a fraction so that it reflects, or it looks a lot more like the actual thing that you'll have. You'll have some without the fractions, but you'll have at least 2 with. All right, 125, second one over the top, 125. You do it. With this, I just have to pause. 1, pause, 2, pause, 5, pause, 1, 5. Hey, what did Thomas do? He put the second term over the first. He put the third term over the second. And because I'm in the geometric section, I'm going to be dividing. How do I know I'm dividing? I'm finding a ratio. Ratio is a fraction, one thing over another, even if the top thing happens to be a fraction and the bottom thing happens to be a fraction. What am I looking for? An A and an R. A is easy, R a little bit harder. I'm doing this one. You obviously don't have the space. When you see this on the video, put it somewhere on the back of your paper so you can have it. And someone say what A is on this new made-up problem.
125. 1 over 1.
Good, good. R. Calculators, you got to use parentheses. Parentheses, 1 divided by 25, close parentheses, all divided by 1, open parentheses, 1 divided by 125, close parentheses. Is it 5? Here's a little hint for you, just in case you never have a calculator and you get one of these division problems of two fractions. The rule is simply this. This one is worth hearing. You have two fractions, one above the other. They both have ones as their numerators. To get the answer, this is really a division problem with fractions. To divide fractions, technically you flip the bottom one and you multiply times the top one. That's the long version. Here's the short version. You take the denominator of the bottom fraction, and you put it on top of the top number. Well, what is it saying? Take 125, put it on top of 25, and divide. It gets you a 5. That's the right way to do it. Hey, what about this smaller one? Take the 25, put it above the 5, and divide. It gets you the same 5. If ever you get two fractions dividing by each other, you just take the denominator of the bottom one, put it on top of the number on the top, and divide. If there are ones there, if they're not ones, you got to flip it and multiply. But take from the bottom, put it on the top, divide. It's a fiver. All right, Thomas. This problem turned out to be pretty easy. I'm putting an a, which is a fraction, 1 over 125, all divided. Parentheses on the bottom. A 1 minus a 5. Could I just put a -4 down there because I know 1 take away 5 is a -4? Yeah, I could. The top, I'm going to put a parenthesis around it so that you know when you put in the calculator, parenthesis divided by parenthesis. Pause and look at it for just a second. -0.000 who?
Sure.
Anybody else get something different? You got that?
I got the same.
All right.
I think we did one as well.
Say it again?
I don't think we did with number 1.
Nothing is done on this section here?
I have 4, 6, 7, and 8 done.
I didn't do one? That's weird. All right, here comes one. Do it. This one wants me to find the 32nd term. That's a big N. This is 4 and 5. Remember, here comes one. A, D, N. Anyone know what A is?
2.
N. D starts off the same way, 5 over 2, 8 over 5. The difference is you're subtracting. D stands for the common difference. It's the number that you add to everybody to get to the next number. Ratio, you have to multiply to get to the next number. Common difference is the D. Common ratio is the R. I think they may even ask you that question. Here it comes. 5 take away 2 is 3. 8 take away 5 is 3. All right, there it is. I'm going to plug it into this formula. The end.
So it's 5 minus 2.
You're correct. Except for that one problem that has the 1 minus R on the top and the 1 minus R on the bottom. All of the others, you need to get the final answer. That is, get a single digit to be a 2 plus a 3, 32 minus a 1. Now, what if you just put a 31 in there? I feel like I'd be okay with it. All right, 30. Someone in the calculator punching all that stuff. 2 plus a 3 parentheses 32 minus 1. Saying the answer. And before you do, let's see, 14. It should be some big number.
Is the formula on top of that? Since A, 4, D?
It's a plus sign.
Oh, A plus.
Yeah, you always write the formula.
A plus D.
Anybody got a number?
I got 95.
95. Anybody got the same thing?
Yeah.
Again, you'll just watch the videos. Last problem. And then I got to move on to the next section. But I'm still going to do it. When does the next equation begin? What number, anybody know? Again, highlight the instruction. You're getting the term of this sequence, but how do you know that it's a, I should be using arithmetic. If they don't tell you, you got to check the numbers. When you subtract, well, here's another way to know. If you were to put a 5 over 2 and divide it, and put an 8 over 5 and divide it, why don't you get the same thing? Someone do a 5 over 2 and divide. Someone do an 8 over 5 and divide. Tell me, does it give you the same number? All right. I can tell when the new thing begins. Have I done number 6?
Yes. No, 7.
7? All right. Here comes 7, and then the end. All right. Here it comes. Number, anybody know what 5 divided by 2 is? 2.5. 2.5. 8 and a 5, 1 and 3/4. All right, so no, they give different answers. So how do you know that this isn't a geometric ratio number 1? Let's imagine you put the 5 over 2, like, oh, I'm going to divide. If you divide twice and you get different answers, it's not a geometric. So you would have to try, okay, I'm going to subtract. You'll see when you get to the test. There'll be too much information, though. All right, now 6, just do it. 6 is done or no? 7? All right, 7. Formula, I didn't write it down. Is it ARN or ADN? Oh, it's that thing. Thank you. A1, A sub n, and an n. Here we go. Did I give you numbers? What's that last number I gave you after the 40? 112. Now on the test, they'll have the last number. This one they didn't. All right. Someone say what A1 is? Yeah. And what A sub n is? 112. If you don't know, yeah, you got to know that the last number in the sequence, they gave the name A sub n. This one I'm just giving you. In a real thing, you'll have the last number. N. Oh yeah, where are you, my friend? Number of terms. 11. You plug it in, you punch it in, it gives you an answer. I'm gonna write down the formula one time. N over 2. A sub 1. You always go first, A sub 1. That's why I hate you. You don't even have to go first. You can let somebody else go first. All right, so 1, A sub n. And 11 over 2. Anytime you're doing division, go ahead and. I heard in the other class I have been saying you need to do a parenthesis, 11 over 2 parenthesis, but it has to do it without the parenthesis on the outside, and they said that it gave the right answer. A1 is a 1222, and his friend over here is going to be a and his friend. It's weird. It's 11. Looks like it's 112 also. Oh, okay, it's either 112 plus 112. Oh, yeah. And I'll give some answers. Somebody say what that answer is. 737. I hear. I don't have a reason to disbelieve 737. Now, will you write this down after you watch the video to get the answer with all the work? 737. Yeah, do it. All right, so let's read the problem here. Step 1, circle the words arithmetic sequence, because part of the notes that you'll get to use, you need to know when to do this one. It's like having a toolkit, and then you can't tell which one it is. For arithmetic sequence, that's equation number 4. That's the one that looks something like this with the A1. There is a D, and then there's an N minus 1. The good news is if I know I'm using this one, then on the side, you're getting points by doing this already. On the side, I know I'm asking A sub 1. I need to know what a D is, and I need to know what my N is. This particular situation where we just write the equation, we won't know our N for A. But for B, when they tell me about the 5th hit, yeah, if I wasn't in this thing, I'd do something about taking a hit. But I mean, yeah, I can't, yeah. So here we're going to put a big N, and under hit, we're going to put term. So it reminds you of what we did on that other sheet. All right. So let's do some stuff. Let's read this big paragraph and see if we can find an A, an N, or rather an A, a D. And again, this on this third one, we won't have an N on that one. His friend down here will have an N. A, D, N. All right, get ready for it. So you're hammering nails into a piece of seckle wood, which is how I'm saying it. It is really hard. Whoever wrote this knows stuff. They thought it'd be cool to write stuff that kids have no idea and probably don't care. Should have called it oak wood. Should have called it some type of wood that doesn't even make sense for a kid to go like, it's not really that type of wood, like mushroom wood. The distance the nail travels is always less than the previous hit. The first hit, the nail has traveled, that first is going to be important because over here we know one of these letters represents the first. So here it comes. Hey, the first hit the nail travels is 16 millimeters. At the end of the second hit, it has traveled 14 more millimeters. Complete the following. If the distance of the nail moves in an arithmetic sequence, a sub n, write a possible equation. Well, this is a possible equation here. We're going to fill in some of the numbers in it. Going. So there we go. Hey, someone say out loud, what do you think the first number should be? What's a sub 1?
16.
Yeah, it is the first number. They said it's the first number. A sub 1 is always the first. Anybody know what D might be? Now, D is a subtraction problem. Second guy over the first guy with a subtraction sign. So, A14.
Be 2.
Not only is it a 2, but it is a, yeah, it has to be a negative 2. Even if the top number is smaller, for a D, the common difference is top minus the bottom. All right. In this case, normally the n is the last term, but in the original scenario, either A, they didn't give us a last term, or B, if we were extracting for some number, what's the last number they did give us? 14. Which means there are only 2 terms. So if we were putting a number in this first one, I'm going to put it in quotes because technically it's wrong. I looked at the answer key. I'm going to put it in because of what we know to look for. There are only 2 terms. We'll put in quotes. So hey, how do you put that in the formula, Thompson? I'm going to put a 16 first. By the way, half credit already. Choose the formula, get the pieces. Even if you don't know how to put them in, these 2 pieces are the most important part. 16, once you have all the pieces of the puzzle, you just put them in a negative 2. I'm putting minus a negative 2, even though they would normally just put 16 minus 2, but I will do something different. Sure, I'll put you into minus 1. Technically, this isn't an equation because all the numbers are filled in. If you saw this on the test, excuse me, the 2, they would actually have an n minus 1. Why an n minus 1? Because if you want to know what the 5th term is, you know, oh, we put a 5 in the place of the n. If you want to know what the 2nd term is, oh, we put a 2 in the place of the n. So technically, by putting in the 2 that we discovered over here, for this problem where they just asked for an equation, it needs to be, one of these guys needs to be a letter. In any case, write it this way, write it that way. I would give full credit for the guy with the n, for the guy without the n. Down here, write the formula again, but this time do it with a 5. We know A is the same problem, so the 16, we know who you are. The D, you're still the same D. And then your n happens to be a 5. Plug that in. We'll go on to the next problem and see what we can do from there. You will get to have your notes a longer time than before. The problems are quite similar. So even though we're going a little bit faster on this one, so you can have at least 35 to 40 minutes on your test. Again, today I'm going to extend the time that you get to always write the formula that you get to use your notes. 16 plus negative 2, 5 minus 1. For this one, actually punch in your calculator to get a final answer. I won't be able to do it right here, right now, but on the test, go ahead and do that. The only one that you don't have to is that one with the 1 minus r over 1 minus r. That's the only one where it's like, you probably get it wrong anyway, but still go ahead and, if you want to punch that in, punch it in. With the geometric sequence, it's a different formula. Anybody happen to know it? It's on that sheet of paper. We're finding out the geometric sequence.
A, N, R, and vertical.
No. Am I doing it? No, it's the R at second. This is equation number 2, I believe. Equation number 2. Or is it number 1?
1.
Number 1. N minus 1. The good news is if you have a formula, then automatically you have the side thing. What do you mean you have the side thing? You know what the puzzle pieces are that you need to get this answer. In other words, all the letters that are in the problem. Anybody know what A sub 1 is? The N. Oh, do they give us an N? Oh, in this problem again, there won't be an N when you're doing the equation. Notice down here, the second part, they do give you an N. When it gets asked for the equation, the N is not there. Now, we have a D up above. Someone punching to get an R. 14 divided by 16.
0.875.
0.875. Because it terminates, I use 3 numbers. All right. Just in the interest of this R, in case people don't know where that came from, I'll put the 14 divided by the 16. Hey, how do I know I'm dividing? Because you get a common ratio. Ratio is a fraction. A fraction is automatically a division problem. Will I remember this? No, but I don't remember the 31st president either, and it doesn't really seem to matter, does it? All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. Punch it, put them in. 16. I'm going to put parentheses around that 16. Where's the R? I'm going to put a 0.875. I'm going to write this twice down here. For this first one, it just wants the equation. For these, just know N will stay because they didn't tell you what term it's on. If you forgot, the term would be, of course, the second term up there because there's only the 14 and 16, only 2. Down here, I'm writing it again. This is what it would feel like in college. Professor's just going, he's just talking. Those who know stuff, they'll be like, hey, I'm following what this guy is saying. Those who don't know stuff, you're going to write. There are no videos, at least not ones that the professor is recording. You're going to have to go to Google. You're going to Google the thing, YouTube it, Khan Academy it, which back in the day they didn't have. So I didn't go to the internet. But now for sure I would. Like, that's what you're always talking about. Click on 2 different teachers, see who says it best. That's if I wanted to learn it. If I didn't want to learn it, who cares? Not in these 4 minutes, though. Not in these 4 minutes. Here it comes. The problem is actually about license plates. I just want to talk about my own. Here it comes. License plates. Hey, there's a town named Euphoria. You read the whole paragraph. Hey, there's a town named Euphoria. They got people driving cars. They need 500,000 license plates. Okay. But you can't have 2 people with the same license plate. That way you can get pulled over. I'm getting a ticket for somebody else's stuff. So what they need is, on your license plate, they need 3 of the, there are going to be 6 characters. 3 of them have to be letters. That's not a 4. They put it above. Sure, I'll put it above. Come on, you can do it. A letter for your first thing, a letter for your second thing, a letter for your third thing. Okay? Then the last 3 characters have to be numbers. A number for the first thing, a number for the second thing, a number for the third thing. For those who don't drive and don't have to memorize the license plate here in California, it is true. You have 4 letters, 3 numbers. It's always the first letter, 3 numbers, and then for the first number, 3 letters, and then your last 3 numbers. So I know in my car, Kia are the 3 letters on mine, 7 Kia something. And on my other one is MJK, Michael Jackson, 017. I had to make up something to memorize my license plate. You need to do the same when it's your turn. Except I don't know that first number. I just know MJK, that's my Accord. Kia, that's my Camry. Here in Euphoria, 3 letters, 3 numbers. You can't get like vanity plates where it just says your name or something cool or corny. Here we go. Of the letters, the alphabet has 26 letters. They're going to choose out of that. For the first letter, you get to choose out of the alphabet. But they don't want you to make a word, so they took away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They took away 6 letters so that you wouldn't spell a word. So there are only consonants left. So the question is, when you pick your first letter, how many choices do you have? There are 20 letters available. Oh, your first choice, you get to choose out of the 20 letters. Okay. For your second choice, and it turns out you can repeat letters. So out of the bag of letters, there's 20 letters in a bag. You got not 26, but there are 20 that you can choose out of. This is, what are the probability? What are the chances? What are all the possible combinations? Well, the first one would be 20 letters. The second one, I put that letter back in. The second time I'm reaching around, I'm still choosing out of 20 letters. So my second choice is out of 20 letters. And of course, your third choice, you get to put it back, you get to repeat. Okay. Your third choice is out of 20. So it's probability. Same thing with the numbers. It's a bag of numbers. How many numbers are in the bag? Well, they say we're not doing any even numbers. We're only going to do odd numbers. How many odd numbers are there? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 odd numbers. All right, so in the bag, when I reach in, how many chances are there? Okay, there are 5 numbers. I get a 2, but this isn't asking me what I got. This is asking me how many numbers were in the bag that I was choosing out of. There were 5 numbers in the bag. That's what this means. Just a little hint if anyone's brain is burning. You won't need to know this. You need to get on your paper, so when you use your notes, it will help you a lot on your test. So don't be trying to remember 5, 7. Don't worry about this. No, if you wrote it, you're gonna be good. You put that number back because it can repeat. How many numbers in the bag still? There are 5 for my second choice. All these are being multiplied. And then lastly, I put it back. My last time to choose, I still got to choose out of 5 letters, rather 5 numbers. Okay, so what does this even mean? Even though we don't have to know, but what does it mean? For all the license plates that they ain't gonna make, you multiply 20 times 20 times 20 times 5 times 5 times 5, and that tells you how many possible license plates there are out there. Obviously, California has to actually do this in real life. We got millions of people who are driving cars. They need a different license plate for everyone, so they get to use 26 letters, and they get to use 10 numbers. So their thing multiplies so much bigger than this. How many license plates to make without repeating? So here's the second one. I'm finished after this one. You do have to try and answer the question. There's going to be a question, so which should you do, the repeating version or the version without repeating? So let's do letter, 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 number, or for young people nowadays, hashtag, hashtag, hashtag. I don't know how they made that up, what that means in real life. I mean, the people who made it up are geniuses, so it's not like kids made it up, but I don't know what a hashtag, what it means for them. In any case, the second time you got a bag of letters, the 20 letters to begin with. When you pull out that first letter, you can't reuse it. So when you reach in the second time, you only have 19 letters now to choose from. When you pull out that one, okay, you can't reuse it. The third time you reach in now, there's only 18. So on the this version where it can't repeat, you start out with 20 possibilities, but you took one out, now you're left with 19. Okay, you took one out, now you're left with 18. So for letters, you're a little bit limited when you can't repeat. I'm gonna start the first number and see if you put in the second 2 numbers without repeating. Here you can repeat, put it back in the bag. All right, this is it. All right, time's up. Anybody know what the second number is gonna be? Next one.
3.
Again, you need to multiply that on your calculator so that you can find out how many possible license plates there are when you don't repeat letters, and how many possibilities there are when you do repeat. And then the final question is going to be, okay, which one of these 2 should you choose if you need 500,000? I assume one's going to give you 500,000 or more. The other one's going to give you less or something like that. But when you punch in their calculators, check and see.